Very interesting. Learned a lot, even though I'm from India and I have lived abroad in several countries. But these kind of trainings, they help you realize that even being an outsider, you are not as diverse as you think, and it helps get rid of some of the stereotypes and perfections you have, and gives you a whole new perspective on diversity and inclusion in corporate work.
But I'll tell you, I think that positive biases are in many ways more destructive in our workplaces today. Do you agree with me? Because why? Why? Because we go, oh, I'm a good person because I believe that all Asians are hard workers, right? Or all gay men are artistic. Those are positive things. I love to be artistic. I love to have those kind of qualities, but they still keep us from seeing an individual for who they are. Can you give me a couple of examples of other positive biases? I'm not saying you as an individual have them, but that are kind of just floating around in the culture as a whole. Positive characteristics that are inflexibly applied to a particular category of people. Yeah, go ahead, Pat. Yes, African Americans are the best athletes, absolutely, period. And guess what else? You've got rhythm too. Party on, right?
I enjoyed the workshop specifically because he made us think more about our own strengths. A lot of times what we think about, what are our weaknesses, and then try to improve upon that. But I know personally I have to identify my strengths and work to that so I'm able to manage, communicate, and be an effective team member with my strengths.
And sometimes the personal stories will tug at these executives because they're people too, and the personal stories will bring them along. And then, I've always wanted to say this, and now I can. If they don't get it after the profit stuff and after the personal stories, and they're not just with the program, fire them. A lot of times, we see senior executives that are bigoted, they're nasty, they're bad. Yeah, they're delivering business performance, but on diversity, they're awful. And to fire them, HR is saying we need to fire this executive, can send a really strong message that we're serious about diversity. We're not just paying it lip service. If you're not doing it right, you can't be here at this company. And maybe sometimes you have to take extreme measures when everything else doesn't work.
If you could just give me a call before you proceed with the termination.
Oh, yeah. This conference is really great. So many people, 160 people, different background, different companies, and such a broad support from various community. And I'm very, very excited, and I can also feel the excitement for the participants. And I'm so glad that we are able to hold this session. And one thing we need to do is, as we gain the momentum with this conference, definitely we need to kind of build on this momentum and then take it to the diversity next level in this Carolina community.
So we must learn how to transcend cultural bias for the greater good. I'll give you an example. We'll use primarily the Christians in the room. Okay, are you Christians ready? All right, let us begin. Who among you as Christians in this room have been raised as either Lutheran or Episcopalian, Anglican Episcopal? All the Anglican Episcopals and the Lutherans, please raise your hand. Very good. You have certainly been told about those Catholics, haven't you? Yes. Whom among you has been raised Catholic? You know about the Protestants, don't you? Yes. Are there any Baptists in this room? Any Baptists at all? Yours is true salvation. You will be in heaven shouting and rejoicing. Other Christians will have to wait on a long queue just to get in. Now, why are the Christians so affirmed in this belief? Because the Baptists they say that there's only one valid form of Christian baptism, which is total what? Yes, total immersion. But the Mormons do total immersion. Push you down, bring you back, 7 to 8 minutes, push you down. That is not to the satisfaction of the Baptists. The Baptists require that you stand in the water, which is symbolic of the death. You are carried backwards, which is the burial. At this point, your sinuses and nasal cavities fill with water. You feel you've drowned, and they bring you back, okay? All right. Now, Christian baptism, is that specific for the Baptist? What happens to the rest of the Christians in the room who've only been sprinkled? It's a sad day. Now we have a round of laughter in here, but in any other country talking about religious differences, it would be the occasion of what? Wars, killings, the troubles. You see all the things Shia. Many of you didn't know the difference between Shia and Sunni. You now understand there's a great difference in terms of the number of killings that are taking place within those communities. You didn't know that the Irish Catholics and Protestants had such big trouble. The Troubles, it was referred to. Remember when that was all going on? So we are very fortunate in this country that we have been able to demonstrate the capacity to transcend something as integral as our religious belief for the greater good, our cultural bias. So we know how, but the question is, do we have the will to do it?
Okay, I'm great. I just enjoyed the session with Cindy Ann. She had a great perspective, and what I loved the most was just the reality-based guidance that she had, and she was incredibly funny and a great actor as well, so it was nice to learn some new perspectives from a different perspective.